Coming up on OU Nightly, a health alert for those going home for Thanksgiving. And OU students react to the Meta lawsuit. Plus, the U.S. and Qatar are talking about a hostage deal. We have the details. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Mecca Thompson.
And I'm Spencer Plato. We begin tonight with the mad dash to get off campus for Thanksgiving. But we have a health alert before you leave. With COVID and flu season in full swing, your grandparents are at a higher risk of getting sick. Tonight, a special health beat. OU Nightly's Liv Walbeck talks with OU health researchers about a new vaccine that could save lives.
Responsible for about 1.2 million deaths. Streptococcal pneumonia causes most of the pneumonia worldwide.
And it's a bigger concern for older adults.
After 65, you start seeing immune senescence. In other words, the immune system doesn't function as well, and older people start getting pneumonia.
Dr. Tweeten explained that for more than 30 years, his research only focused on toxins, and creating a vaccine wasn't initially part of his plan.
And I had no intention of any type of vaccine development or anything like that. All we wanted to do was understand how these toxins work.
When Tweeten realized that his findings could fight the infection, the university secured patent protection and took the next steps.
A company out in Boston called Matrovax has licensed the rights to produce this and use it as the next generation vaccine.
With the vaccine's development being right here at OU's Health and Sciences Center, some Norman locals are pretty excited for the clinical trial.
I think it's a fabulous idea. I mean, it's needed. It's something that is preventable, and I think a trial would just give it more credibility. I think it would be great.
This vaccine candidate is a big milestone for Dr. Tweeten and OU. And moving forward, Tweeten hopes that his findings can be used for greater developments.
Right now, we're trying to re-engineer them to attack other things like tumors. But it's only in the very beginning stages.
For OU Nightly, I'm Liv Walbeck.
The first phase of clinical trials are happening right now, and only those ages 65 and up can get this shot. Other pneumonia, flu, and COVID vaccines are available at most pharmacies, health departments, or your doctor's office.
We are also keeping an eye out on the weather as Thanksgiving approaches.
Let's get right over to the OU Nightly Weather Center, where meteorologist Dylan Strelko has a first look at the forecast. Dylan?
Yeah, guys, right now it's pretty gusty out there, you may have noticed, especially for our central and western portions of the state. Now, eastern Oklahoma, you're still seeing some gusty winds, but definitely for central and western Oklahoma, you're definitely seeing more gusty winds, maybe even reaching near 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in the OKC metro. Now, tonight, those temperatures are going to cool down into the 40s by 7 p.m. Plenty of clouds to go around, but coming on later in the show, we're going to be talking about that Thanksgiving forecast and the next chance for some rain.
With the Thanksgiving holiday approaching, the city of Norman announces closures for the week. Norman's administrative offices and recreation centers will be closed on Thanksgiving Day and Friday. Trash and recycling pickup will be delayed by 1 day, with pickups resuming Friday. With transit services closed for the holiday, the city is offering an alternative.
Norman On Demand, our microtransit service that's available around Core Norman, that will be available during those late night hours on the 23rd of November.
For any other questions, visit the City of Norman's website to access the phone numbers of each department.
Hopeful news from the Middle East as we head toward the holiday. The U.S. and Qatar say there are new updates on the possible release of hostages being held by Hamas. CNN's Rick Damigella has the latest.
Talks have intensified recently for the release of hostages being held by Hamas. The White House says officials have been working around the clock to secure their release.
What I can say about this at this time is we think that we are closer than we have been perhaps at any point since these negotiations began weeks ago.
Hamas abducted about 240 people, including some Americans, during the October 7 attacks, according to Israeli officials, though official accounts have varied as intelligence in Gaza develops.
I really believe that it's time for the Israeli government and the United States government to work out a fair deal to bring some of these hostages home.
Pressure is growing on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a deal for their safe return. Qatar has been acting as a mediator between Israel, Hamas, and the United States.
There are areas of difference and disagreement that have been narrowed, if not closed out entirely.
Family members have grown impatient as they worry about their loved ones being held.
That was Rick Damigella reporting. This all comes after a blast rocked the UN school that was used as a shelter in northern Gaza, which is under investigation.
Many of those injured in the war are arriving in Egypt. Tonight, we know 28 sick and premature babies are receiving treatment. OU Nightly's Abby Williams has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Spencer, the situation in Gaza continues to worsen as doctors and nurses are without power and in need of supplies. The lack of access to medical care in Gaza forced these premature babies to be evacuated to a hospital in Egypt. The babies are currently receiving treatment. According to the Israeli military, Hamas is using the Al-Shifa hospital in northern Gaza as a shield for their operations. And tributes are pouring in for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter after she passed away on Sunday. The Carter Center says ceremonies to celebrate her life take place all through next week. The public can pay its respect to the former First Lady next Monday at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum, and is invited to view the family motorcade. Funeral services will be held on Wednesday. A portion of Interstate 10 in Los Angeles is open in time for Thanksgiving travel after a massive fire damaged it earlier this month. Officials in Los Angeles now believe the fire was set intentionally. A person was caught on video at the location of the fire. California Governor Gavin Newsom said the fire was started with malice intent. And on Saturday, SpaceX launched the most powerful rocket ever. The uncrewed rocket system took off safely, but the test flight ended early with an explosion and loss of signal. Mecca, Spencer.
Thanks, Abby. A lawsuit brought against Meta by over 40 states, including Oklahoma, claims the tech giant marketed their social media platforms to children despite knowing the cost to their mental health. Gen Z is at the center of this legal battle. OU Nightly's Noah Mack is live with the implications of this widely bipartisan lawsuit.
Yeah, that's right. Students here on campus grew up alongside social media, and many of them resonate with the lawsuit being brought against Meta. Students who walk the grounds of OU's campus are products of the social media era.
You know, looking around, everybody had 1,000+ followers, and so I was like, well, I have to get more followers. I had like an app that would track like when I would lose followers and stuff. So I definitely got a little bit too into it for a while there.
Stories like Eden's are at the core of an unusually bipartisan lawsuit. 42 attorneys general, including Oklahoma, plan to take the tech giant Meta to court. The lawsuit claims Meta knew their platforms adversely affected the mental health of children and teens, but marketed to them anyways.
This is a uniform concern across sort of the political spectrum.
That's Deputy Attorney General Ethan Shaner, who is leading this lawsuit.
You know, I can sit here and say, please take some time away from your phone for your own mental health, you know, experience the world around you. But at the same time, there's, you know, the world's best software engineers working to counter that.
Eden took a step back from social media, but still worries about the younger generation.
Like I have my little sister texting me every single photo in the order that she's going to post it and the caption before she posts it because she's nervous that it won't look good and stuff like that. And I'm like, it's an online scrapbook. Just treat it like that.
Yeah, and Eden tells me ultimately people are hurting, and she believes the social media companies should be held responsible. Reporting live, Noah Mack, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Noah. When OU Nightly returns, hear how gas prices may see a decrease ahead of a busy travel week.
What you need to know before hitting the road.
And after weeks of being on strike, an agreement has been made with the United Auto Workers.
Kaylee Carnine has the details about the new contract next in Money Matters. With the gift-giving season around the corner, an early present is rolling in for consumers. OU Nightly's Kaylee Carnine has what you can expect this holiday season and more in Money's Matters.
Yeah, get ready to get a deal as you fill up from the drive back from Thanksgiving. According to AAA, gas prices are set to hit the lowest Thanksgiving Day prices since 2020, and Americans are cashing in on this deal. According to AAA, roads will be packed with 49 million travelers. Prices have fallen for 9 weeks now, and Gas Buddy says that's the longest downward streak since 2022. And good news for United Auto Workers as we head into the holidays. After weeks of strike and bargaining, employees in the big 3 U.S. automakers have officially ratified new contracts. The new contract will give union workers an immediate pay increase of 11%. Union members will also get a total increase of 25% over the course of the 4.5-year deal. The news is not so good if you're hoping to snag a holiday job. According to Indeed, retailers posted the lowest number of seasonal job openings since 2019. Since last year, job postings are down 6%. But despite this, Indeed says that people searching for seasonal jobs has increased 19% from last year. But Amazon says that they will hire 100,000 more workers ahead of the holiday season. And Spencer Mecca, if you usually pay in cash, you may have seen President Ulysses S. Grant a lot last year. Last year, the government printed a record number of $50 bills, more than 756 million bills.
Thanks, Kaylee. That's interesting. I usually pay with card.
Yeah, I'm never carrying cash.
If you're in need of a meal on Thanksgiving, one local high school has you covered.
Planning started in the summer, and they're ready for over 1,000 families.
And our Thanksgiving forecast does look mild and dry, but we got some more cooler weather on the way, so stick around to find out more. Welcome back to OU Nightly. We're looking at the South Oval right now. Plenty of clouds out there today, so not a lot of sun that we've been seeing last week. Current temperatures about 55 degrees, so pretty chilly out there this morning. Today, and that's going to continue throughout the rest of today, even into tomorrow and the rest of the week as well. Current temperatures across the board, you're going to see that cooler air start to drift in from the north, bringing those temperatures down. We're in the 60s still in our southern counties, but our northern counties are dropping down into the 40s tonight, and that's going to be a really similar story for all of us as that colder air continues to move in. Now, the storm system that affected us this weekend is now spinning out there near Kansas City. All of that storm has moved off to our east. Now, for right now here in central Oklahoma, we are seeing some scattered showers, nothing as far as thunderstorms though, no severe weather. We did have some severe weather down here in southeastern Oklahoma, but that is all moving out of here tonight and into tomorrow. Now, as far as rain totals go from this weekend, we didn't see too high of amounts. We saw about an inch up there in Enid, but down here in Norman, we saw less than 1/4 of an inch, a little bit over 1/4 of an inch down there in Ardmore. Some higher totals out here in eastern Oklahoma, but nothing too crazy as far as rain totals go. Now, this evening, we're going to be cooling down into the 40s by 7 p.m., getting to 47 degrees by 10 p.m. Again, those clouds are really going to be sticking around with us for tonight. Now, tomorrow, the temperatures are going to warm up only into the 50s. We're going to get to about 52 here in Norman, out west over there, 54 in Elk City, and down here 56 over there in Ardmore. Now, as for your 7-day forecast, we are seeing those temperatures dropping down. We're going to get up to 60 on Thursday. We're seeing our warmest temperatures are really going to be on Thursday for Thanksgiving, and then we're going to see those temperatures start to cool down this weekend. You're going to see those temperatures drop into the 40s on Saturday, and then on Sunday as well, 48 degrees. But the sunshine is going to be sticking around with us for this week and for a very mild and dry Thanksgiving forecast.
Yeah, I'm hoping for decent weather on Thanksgiving so I can get out and maybe walk off all that food I'll be eating.
That's a good idea. A walk may actually be nice. Thanks, Dylan. Food and Shelter of Norman is hosting their annual Thanksgiving meal from 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. at Norman High on Thanksgiving Day. They have been planning the event since the summer and are prepared to serve anywhere between 1,200 and 1,400 people. The event is run completely by volunteers and is open to anyone. You can find more information about the event on the Food and Shelter Inc. Facebook page. And OU women's basketball continues their hot start to the year.
And the Sunday Sooners showed out yet again. OU Nightly's Britton Ross has all that and more in sports.
Thanks, ladies. OU football traveled to the Utah Mountains on Saturday, and one Sooner returned home with more than just a win. I'll tell you who won what next in sports. Hello, I'm Britton Ross, and it's time for sports. Oklahoma football looked to keep their Big 12 championship hopes alive this weekend as they traveled to BYU. The Sooners fought through the elements in a game that was too close for comfort for some OU fans. The game was tied at half, partially because of this Jaden Gibson 27-yard touchdown grab. Quarterback Dylan Gabriel was injured just before halftime, and five-star freshman Jackson Arnold was at the helm for the Sooners the rest of the way. Tied late in the fourth quarter, Gavin Sawchuk sealed the game with this 16-yard touchdown run, leading the Sooners to a 31-24 win. OU keeps their Big 12 dreams alive, but can't get there without some help. The path for the Sooners is to beat TCU this Friday and hope that either Texas, Oklahoma State, or Kansas State lose their games this weekend. The Sooners defense forced 3 turnovers against BYU, but none bigger than Billy Bowman's 100-yard pick six when the game was tied in the third quarter. Bowman was named the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, and Brent Venables says his leadership has really taken off this year.
I've seen him grow as a leader this year, and was named a permanent captain, voted by his teammates yesterday. Got up in front of the guys at practice, and man, it was awesome to hear him, because I'm always trying to poke him and get him to respond and have his teammates hear him, because the players have tremendous respect for him.
Over in the pros, Heisman winner and former Sooner quarterback Kyler Murray had 214 yards and 2 total touchdowns, including this bomb in Arizona's 21-16 loss in Houston. And CeeDee Lamb had a clutch 5-yard touchdown grab just before halftime in the Cowboys' 33-10 dominant win over the Panthers. OU women's basketball went on the road to Virginia on Sunday. Skylar Vann paved the way for the Sooners with 20 points and 8 boards in OU's 82-67 win. OU remains undefeated this season and have won all 5 games by double digits. With the Sooners' hot start, head coach Jenny Baranczyk was named ESPN's Coach of the Week. And the OU men's basketball team returned to the LNC Friday night. Transfer John Hughley led the Sooners with 16 points and added 8 rebounds in OU's 90-66 blowout win against UT-RGV. OU now travels to San Diego to take on Iowa at the Rady's Children Invitational on Thanksgiving Day. Mecca, Spencer.
Thanks, Britton. With Turkey Day just 3 days away, President Biden is kicking off the holiday with an annual Thanksgiving tradition.
See what rode the gravy train all the way to the White House when OU Nightly returns.
I'm Chu Dominguez at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond says he is filing a lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Drummond said the lawsuit is a response to the HHS suspending a family planning grant named Title X. He says he is committed to get the funding back to the state of Oklahoma. Mecca, Spencer, back to you.
Thanks, Chewy. Today, President Joe Biden welcomed turkeys Liberty and Bell to the White House.
The annual turkey pardon took place on the South Lawn, where people can give thanks and kick off the holiday season ahead of Thursday's feast. The National Turkey Foundation is the supplier for the birds, and the tradition dates back to President John F. Kennedy's term in 1963.
All of the turkey talk has me so ready to hit the road for Thanksgiving.
Many people are headed home tonight and tomorrow. Dylan, what are the conditions looking like for people traveling?
Well, travel conditions look pretty good this week. We should be mild and dry throughout much of the region. And then for Thanksgiving, we're going to be warming up into the 50s, possibly even reaching near 60 Thursday afternoon. Those winds will be strong out of the south, and there will be plenty of clouds in the air. However, Thanksgiving is looking pretty mild and dry, so can't complain too much about that. Getting up to 60 on Thursday, but then here comes that cold air on Saturday into Sunday. The temperatures are going to drop down to 47 on Saturday. Look at Saturday night, could get down to freezing temperatures as well, and our next chance for some rain will be next weekend.
Thanks, Dylan, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Mecca Thompson.
And I'm Spencer Plato. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.